Our first argument is focused on the fact that artificial intelligence may become so intent on completing its task that it will override ethical or legal boundaries. Even if it is not as extreme as the murderous computer HAL in the iconic film Space Odyssey 2001, we can take self-driving cars as an example. Let's say that you're in your self-driving car one sunny afternoon, you're going at the speed of 120 kilometers per hour, when suddenly you see a mother and its baby. Two options: either the car will continue and you will kill the mother and its baby, or the car will stop and you will die. Let's not forget that AI systems have
You have a point of interest?
Can I answer this later on? Thank you. Let's not forget that AI systems have no soul, no morals, and no values. It is a system that has one goal, and he needs to achieve this goal the most efficiently as possible. This argument will be supported and developed by our first speaker, Kike Boussals. Now, our second argument is focused on the fact that artificial intelligence has made us so lazy already. I mean, we created washing machines to wash our clothes. We designed chairs to sit on them. But have we created artificial intelligence to think for us? Simple machines have been used to replace hard labor, such as mining. But now AI has started.
You have another point of interest?
Can I please hear it?
The first one. Your
Yes.
speaker is off, Belver. Belver, your speaker is off.
Okay, so you said how car accidents are caused by AI. However, 94% of car accidents are caused by human error.
Okay, so I'm not really pointing this out. I'm pointing out the fact that how is the AI system going to know what decisions to take based on an ethical issue, knowing that it is an intelligent system? It doesn't have any kind of human thinking. And it could be very dangerous for today's society. May I carry on?
Are you taking the second point or not?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
Well, entrepreneur Elon Musk said that we're still very far away from the development of AGI or strong AI.
Sorry, you're out of time. Sorry.
Okay, so AI is replacing our thinkers, our philosophers, our architects. This is an attack to the human's creative thinking. Imagine a world where Leonardo da Vinci would have never existed. This argument will be supported and developed by our second speaker, Bruno Garcia. Now, to conclude, I would just like to say that we will more than prove that, yes, artificial intelligence is dangerous. Thank you very much, and good luck to the opposing team.
Thank you. So can we have James for Belver, please? Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Good morning, ladies, gentlemen, esteemed judges and members of the opposing team. Today, me and my fellow teammates will explain why artificial intelligence is not dangerous. First, allow me to break down some key terms. Artificial intelligence is the development of computer systems able to perform tasks usually requiring human intelligence. And something which is dangerous is something involving possible injury, pain, harm, or loss. 2 million. That is the number of drivers who experience permanent injuries every year in the USA due to car accidents. Around 90 people die of car accidents every day. It is clear with statistics like these, something must be done. But until recently, no solution could be found. As the third speaker, David, said, 94% of car accidents are caused by human error. 94%. So with the development of self-driving cars, the solution is clear. Through the power of AI, we can save so many lives. Take, for example, the tragic case of Harley Morgan and Mary Morgan. Two innocent young people, no older than 20, who minutes after just being married were involved in a fatal car accident. Imagine how the parents of that young couple must feel having to see their innocent children unjustly taken from them just at the point where they were experiencing the happiest time in their lives. But through artificial intelligence, we can prevent tragic, unjust deaths like those of Mary and Harley. But it is not just the reduction of unjust deaths that AI can bring. It is estimated that self-driving cars could allow up to 2 million disabled people who previously struggled to get jobs due to their inability to drive, to find employment. This, may I remind you, is one of the many benefits AI can achieve. How can something which can bring so much good into this world at all be considered dangerous? Now, it is true that AI could be used by a dangerous person or persons to cause harm. However, as the second speaker, Iker, will build on later, that does not make it dangerous. It is the person using the AI who is dangerous. When a musician, for example, plays a beautiful song, you do not congratulate the instrument, even though that is what's being used to perform the song. You congratulate the musician. The same logic applies to the so-called danger created by AI. The only thing preventing artificial intelligence from bringing us into a bright new future is the fear-mongering caused by its detractors. All great progression in human history has been greeted by fear, whether it be technological or social. There have always been those who question the progression of mankind. But I implore you not to fall into the trap of pointless fear. The benefits of artificial intelligence are clear, whilst most points against it are merely theories and predictions. When it comes to the danger of artificial intelligence, I would like to remind you of the words of the late great President Franklin Roosevelt, that we have nothing to fear but fear itself. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So can we have Kike, please, for Agora? When you're ready,
Yes,
let me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good morning, members of the jury opposing team. My name is Kike Pursals, and I will be further expanding why AI is indeed dangerous. With the exponential growth of technology, advancement and development, many questions have been brought up on whether this technology is actually beneficial or constitutes a threat to humanity. In other words, if it is dangerous or not. When it comes to AI, this is not the exception. Of course, many fictional books have wondered about robots overthrowing humanity, or for another instance, as our lead speaker said, HAL 9000, who kills the whole space crew in 2001's Space Odyssey, because the AI considered that they were threatening the mission that they were sent to. This is fiction, of course. And as the opposing team stated,
You have a point of interest?
yes, I will take your point of interest.
So you're basing your argument on Hollywood-like Terminator theories, whereas AI is now being used to help the young and the elderly, or help farmers, or avoid car accidents. Is that dangerous?
Well, I haven't actually finished my point. I was just about to go through there by talking about laws, otherwise known as lethal autonomous weapons. Whilst technologies such as seen in Terminator may not exist yet, machines that are capable of taking decision on whether to pull a trigger or not already exist. And the opposing team stated that it is not, of course, if a killer uses a car to kill someone, you do not blame the car, you blame the killer. But in this case, it is the machine that's taking the decision to voluntarily kill someone, as the name says, lethal autonomous weapon. Therefore, it is the machine's fault. if it decides to pull the trigger or not. I will take your point of interest.
But it is mankind that is giving these robots the ability to make their own decision. So even then, you should still blame the people who are making these robots, mankind, as being dangerous, surely.
Of course, mankind is being dangerous at the time to develop these technologies. But the point is that by developing these technologies, which, by the way, the development of these technologies is mainly pursued for military interests. In 2005, the US Army invested $7.5 billion on the development of robotics and AI. But that doesn't make it less dangerous. I mean, the AI is programmed to make these decisions for humans. So if there's someone to blame, it's the AI itself. I will not take any more points of interest. Let's say a country wanted to take military action in a city with less human intervenence as possible. They sent a couple of drones that are programmed to shoot missiles to everything that looks dangerous to their own will, meaning that they have to choose the AI, meaning the AI, they have to choose on whether they pull the trigger or not. The problem is there has been little but no talk on what ethics we should teach to this AI. In fact, in the UN, international powers couldn't agree on how to even define lethal autonomous weapons. Therefore, we can safely assume that these weapons will pursue the mission that the country sets them for, thus causing lots of collateral damages, civilian deaths, and as the opposing team stated, that is causing harm and loss. Therefore, it is dangerous. Moreover, as I pointed out before, AI is driven not for scientific interest or to save lives, but rather on military purposes. In Russia, Kalashnikov is already developing prototypes that are already capable of making these decisions. And not only that, machine learning, as the name states, it's all about learning. It has to make mistakes in order to learn. Therefore, we can safely assume that since they have to make mistakes, they will make mistakes, and these mistakes may cause a threat, a considerable threat to humanity. Therefore, AI is indeed dangerous. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can we have Aika, please? When you're ready. Your speaker's off at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Surely many of you are familiar with the term artificial intelligence. This is mainly due to the number of films that have been made on this same subject. Films such as Blade Runner, The Matrix, or WALL-E make the term easily recognizable by many. But these films are not based on real examples, and they certainly do not depict the future of AI. Therefore, all of those dystopias that people imagine when they hear the word AI are just wrong, believe me. The Terminator is certainly not coming.
The speaker's in his first...
Sorry?
Sorry, he's trying to make a point of interest. Carry on, sorry.
Okay,
It's too early. Carry on.
Yeah. Good morning, ladies, gentlemen, esteemed judges, and members of the opposing team. My name is Equibatidor, and in this debate, we'll demonstrate how artificial intelligence is not dangerous. AI has been used in the past to detect cancer faster, develop incredibly advanced new medicine.
Do you have a point of interest?
Accepted.
Your team is constantly claiming that our arguments are based on fancy movies. And we just proved that they're based on real examples as lethal machines. And I can add more, social media, AI, which is causing a lot of harm. So I wonder what the team thinks about that and where does the claim that we're basing this on fancy film comes. Thank you.
Well, all this time we've been introduced with this idea, with this, it has been generated this culture that artificial intelligence is inherently bad, and it isn't. Films such as The Terminator, which you just said, they just add up to the fear mongering, as the first speaker, James, has said earlier. As I was saying, AI has been used for positive things. I mean, it is not even a question of is it good or bad for the economy. Us humans have a tendency of thinking short term and to always be negative. Naturally, we can't change that. But is it worth to always be looking at the bad side? Is it worth to always oppose to change? The opposing team will most likely say that AI can be used as a threat. They will say that it is dangerous and that it is incoherent to use. Our team and I believe quite the opposite. It is not the AI that is dangerous, it's the person behind the AI which is. A phone might be dangerous if someone hacks it and gets into our personal
Another point of
data.
interest.
But we'll still own phones, don't we? Accept it.
How can you say that AI is not dangerous when those machines have the capacity to redesign themselves? Of course, the human can program them, but then the machine actually has the capacity of redesigning itself, and it could cause extreme damage.
Well, in this regard, everything can be dangerous. This pen, normally used for writing, can be turned into a deadly tool if in the wrong hands. A car can also be dangerous. Was being driven by a drunk person, but we still go home every night with it. Everything in existence can be turned around and used against you when the hands of the wrong person. Should we blame AI for it? Should we not use our phones and retrocede 30 years back in time when there weren't any cell phones just because it could be hacked? No, it is outright ridiculous. To outrule and label AI for being dangerous is utterly ridiculous. A baby is not born good or bad. It is what we teach him that decides its outcome. Ladies, gentlemen, it is the person behind the AI which makes it dangerous. Ladies, gentlemen, we are the real danger, not the AI. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have Bruno, please. Bruno. When you're ready, let me know.
Please start the clock. Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to start off my time by using my time to address the opposing team's claim. To start, seems they haven't understood the problem with AI. The problem with AI is that not like a machine that it is under the total control of someone and someone chooses whether to fire or not. AI learns by itself. And when it learns by itself, it starts doing things without human permission or authorization. That's why we're constantly sticking with that argument, because that's our worry. And even the opposing team claim that we're seeing just the bad side. No, excuse me, we're seeing the realistic side. And we have to see what will happen to try to lessen the danger and try to make it as less threat to humanity as possible. As well, the other team is constantly bringing up positive examples of AI. Of course, there are positive examples of AI, but the thing is that the negative effects of AI is of a much greater magnitude than the negative ones. Now, I shall proceed with my argument. We are building superhuman machines, but we haven't yet grappled with the problems associated with creating something that may treat us the way we treat ants, says Sam Harris, a widely recognized neuroscientist. We have already built narrow machines that most of the times perform in a super intelligence way. And a little more time is what it needs to give rise to what is called artificial general intelligence, which is machines' ability to perform in various activities and with a bit of consciousness. Again, that's our point most of the times. And I'd like to invite the judges to picture a world where this general intelligence is no more than 10%.
You have a point of interest.
Yes, please proceed.
You are talking about being a realist. So let's be a realist. Can you name a negative example of AI that is not a theory, that is happened today?
Yes, we just did it. Social media and the automatic weapons. Seems we just said it a minute ago. Excuse me. I will proceed now with my arguments. And another, what I was asking the judges to picture is a world where this general intelligence is smarter than today's most brilliant minds and start taking actions. I will not answer your point of view later if I have time. Excuse me. I would like the judges to imagine a world where all jobs, even the most sophisticated ones, are replaced by nothing but machines. I would like to ask the judges, if they could imagine a world dominated by artificial superintelligence. I wish that was just a metaphor. I really do. But today's most brilliant minds just are pointing the opposite. Stephen Hawking, the 20th century greatest scientist, Elon Musk, CEO of cutting-edge AI companies, and even Bill Gates, the world's greatest philanthropist and maybe inventor in the whole history. They all these extraordinary minds, I will not answer your point now, excuse me. All these extraordinary minds are constantly warning us about AI's danger. So I'm curious how the opposing team claims the opposite with such an extensive load of evidence. Moreover, moving on to my second point, we have to consider other threats other than the existential one as job replacement, which will be the worst threat to humanity that we have always faced. We will never face something like this job replacement threat that AI is causing. So that is something that I would like the judges to consider, that it is predicted by studies that take the financial crisis of 2008, multiply that impact by 10, that would be the impact that AI is predicted to have. As well, as I just said, social media, which is a pure implication of artificial intelligence, has shown the harm it can cause, to even polarize countries and lead to the creation of conspiracy theories that really downgrade humankind. So with that said, AI is in its way, artificial general intelligence as well, to take out of humans' hand the most precious capability, to think. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And finally, can we have David, please, or David?
Yes, so
You're
can
ready?
I start? Yes.
Go ahead.
Artificial intelligence is the engine of the fourth industrial revolution. It holds the promise of solving some of society's most pressing issues, such as repowering economies reeling from lockdowns. Its effects can be seen in homes, businesses, and even public spaces. In its embodied form of robots, it will be soon driving cars, stocking warehouses, and caring for the young and for the elderly. 21st century problems require 21st century solutions. Ladies, gentlemen, esteemed judges and members of the negative team. My name is David Dominguez and I am the third speaker of the affirmative team. We advocate for the direct tackling of pressing problems to the most direct solution available to mankind, artificial intelligence. Have you heard about the Chernobyl nuclear plant explosion in Ukraine? I'm sure you have. At the time, there were no AI-powered robots, that could help us to minimize the effect of radiation by controlling the fire in the early stages. It was human error that caused the disaster. And as any human who went close to the radiation was dead in a matter of minutes. Alexander Akimov, Boris Baranov, Valery Legasov, Anatoly Diavlov. These are the names of some of the victims. Accepted?
You're talking about how AI may prevent many human mistakes, but the thing is that AI development is being driven to make harm, because the main investment in AI technology development is by the US military, as I said before, 7.5 billion. So AI development is not being driven for scientific development or to help humankind, but rather to help military action. What is your response to that?
You talk about the negatives of artificial intelligence, but now we have the potential ability to avoid disasters such as Chernobyl. We can save lives through artificial intelligence, be that military or social or civil investment. We can save lives. And yet we threaten this solution by saying it is dangerous. The definition of danger, according to the Oxford Dictionary, is the possibility of suffering harm or injury, as the first speaker, James, has previously said. Tell that to the victims of Chernobyl, who did not suffer from the possibility of harm, but rather the certainty of danger. Tell them that now that we can avoid casualties like theirs, we obstinately do not implement that solution because it is dangerous. Now, I will stop talking about 1986 and return to 2021. COVID-19 shatters the foundation of many democratic nations. It threatens their healthcare systems, as it is doing in Spain, a system in which all Spaniards used to take pride in, including me. To that I say, the medical advancement of the fourth industrial revolution is artificial intelligence. Pragmatically, imagine two men, both suffering from cancer. The first one is checked up regularly by AI, and his cancer is fortunately found soon. My question to you, the second one's case is underestimated by a doctor, and therefore cancer's fatal symptoms unfortunately end with the man's death. Artificial intelligence or human error? One lives, one dies. This is a case of life or death, ladies and gentlemen. My question to you is, which person has gone through a more dangerous situation? The man saved by AI, denied, or the man killed by human error? My perhaps wrong human rationale tells me that no one could have lived with denying the possibility of life to someone else. But it is in fact being done. And it is in fact what the opposing team is arguing for. Once we get over the Terminator-like fears, backed up by nothing more than Hollywood, we might then begin to realize that a new door for development is wide open to mankind. Ladies and gentlemen, once we think rationally about the false dangers of artificial intelligence, we will appreciate it as the perfect marriage between creativity and technology. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, teams, you have 2 minutes to formulate your final arguments, and then 2 minutes aside to put them across, starting now. So can we have Belvez speaker, please? When you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready. Ladies, gentlemen, and esteemed judges, I'd like to draw your attention to the language used by both our teams. The opposing team has used words such as might, could, whilst our team cites statistics. The opposing team engages in speculation. Even in the small cases they have cited, where they claim AI is dangerous, they are nowhere near as dangerous as where humans would be placed in without AI. When it comes to things like cancer, car accidents, and nuclear disasters like those of Chernobyl, the opposing team claims to support realism. Then let's be realistic. Let's use statistics. Let's examine the benefits of how AI has helped people nowadays and not engage in these Hollywood speculations of AI taking over mankind, which are just unrealistic and live in a world of fantasies. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Agora, your speaker, please. When you're ready.
So on my final appointment to this amazing debate league that Rotary has organized, I would first like to thank the opposing team for giving such a hard time to us in this debate. But then it is my time to finally conclude this debate. The opposing team claimed that the real threat behind AI is the person behind it. But again, we stated that AI, once it is programmed by a person, it is capable of making its own decisions. Therefore, it is the only one to blame for its own mistakes, which by definition, it will make. They also stated that we didn't give any evidence or statistics supporting our arguments, but we actually did. We showed how AI in social media has been used to suppress freedom of speech, how automated guns are being developed in order to harm people, thus constituting a danger. Not only that, the greatest minds that live in the 21st century, such as Elon Musk, Stephen Hawking, consider AI as a threat to humanity, as a danger. We have also stated that AI constitutes a danger to our greatest treasure, our mind. Is AI going to change the way we think? We created cars so that we could move faster. Did we create AIs so that they could replace the creative thinking of humans? Thank you very much. That's it for me.
Thank you. And I hand over to the judges now.
Are you all right, Paul, there? I can see the Calvia team. I'm not, on my screen at least, I'm not seeing the Agora. Oh, there you are. Waiting for, there we are. That's Paul back. Well, certainly a very interesting debate, Agora and Calvia. Congratulations from me, first of all. Marvellous to watch a final like that. I now hand you over to the jury, and the first one to be making comment is Alison.
Hi, good morning. Morning to both schools. All I want to say is thank you both so much for an amazing debate and a fantastic final. It really was. We've just had such a tough job. I know we do say this, but seriously, this week in the finals, it was just so close. You were both amazing. You did such a great job. So thank you for a great final debate. And I'll hand you over to Graham now.
Yes, I can see why you two teams, schools, are both in the final, because you really did brilliantly. I really liked the way that you addressed both the subject and addressed the judges and paced your remarks and your arguments so well. I think that you have improved in your debating over not only this session but previously immensely, and I think you did absolutely really well, everybody.
And over to you, Paul, to
wow,
summing up.
so well, just amazing. I'd echo all of the points. We had a tough time in the room. We could have spent a lot more time on it. It was great to have Graham with us, who's actually been, one of the key judges through the series. And the point that he just made there to you, please do take away. You're all, so all 6 of you, and I'm sure the supplemental, I love the fact, Marianne, that you introduced the supplemental. You're all brilliant debaters. So, which makes our job incredibly difficult. And can I say that, when we were adding up the points, it was a bit like the US elections, where we were recounting and recounting, and the points difference was minimal. I probably for the first time was giving some 9s away to people, so that's how high the quality was. Just on a couple of broad points before we get into where we landed in decisions, I think, and I'd like to say to all of you and your teachers, you've done your schools really proud. You've done an amazing job today. I know myself from being on video conference meetings most of the day, just how challenging it is. Add to that the fact that you were walking from a desk up to a screen. You were having to interact with a screen rather than having an energy of a room. Add to that, you were wearing masks as well. That did not faze you at all. You were appropriately passionate. There was raw feeling in the room at various points where you were arguing backwards and forwards. It was just really impressive to see. I think it also stood out for me, particularly the openings from Marianne and James, just how structured and orderly you were, just how clear you were in terms of dealing with and tackling. I remember, Marianne, you're sort of holding up 2 fingers. I'm going to make 2 key solid arguments. Lead the witness. That's what a debate is. And I think you did that. I think you did that sort of phenomenally well. Sort of all of you, and then you built on. You built on things. Kike, you did a brilliant job in kind of following up and sort of focusing the argument in a slightly different way than your lead, but sort of building off things. I loved your ethics point. I thought that was really, really kind of solid. And then as I finish off on the Agora team, Breno, you had some sort of arguments to get your teeth into, which I know you enjoy from the other team, and then sort of work that back into your own argument. I thought that was a really good, solid kind of team, thorough performance. On the Belver side, James, really clear, really focused, worked through the items, brought in some great content. Loved the picture. Always good to have a visual aid. Well done, you, on that, and brought it in at the right kind of time, which was great. I thought Ika, great again, using the image. Everybody likes the Terminator. Well done, you. Followed up on the points, built on other people's points, and then actually added a really emotive word. I think you used the word ridiculous. Ridiculous. Now that's a word that sort of gets people to look up and notice what you're talking about. And then David really sort of built on and sort of very powerfully put where your arguments were. It was a good use of POIs all the way through. And I thought the points around kind of human failure, again, never use a small example. Chernobyl was a massive example and a very poignant one. So really outstanding sort of flow through. So frankly, I normally at this point sort of talk about here's some areas that you could think about or worry about that. There was a little bit of reading, but frankly, I'll let that off. I thought all 6 of you brilliant. So having gone through that, we were struggling to find an individual, and this individual really really turned the debate a little bit on its head. So one of the keys for me when looking at a debate team is where there's a shift. So you can see a shift in terms of someone responding or such a strong opening that, you know, really it'd be really difficult for the other team to pull back. Or it's one of the latter speakers that's really pulling the debate around, dealing with the other side's points and then driving home some key points. So as I say, by one point, best debater today, Brenno.
John,
Thank you very much. I really appreciate
your turn to fill up the certificate, John, if you're there.
So well done, Brenno. I think you know, as I say, for all of us, you know, there was a point in that speech where you took the other side's points, you dealt with them, but you actually made sure you had enough room to carry on with your points. So excellently done. And then in terms of team, and you know, you can see me looking at my scorecards to double check before I'm even saying it. As I said, both teams, fantastic flow, fantastic power, fantastic passion. Again, by a point, Agora is the best team.
Congratulations. I can see they're already celebrating. Congratulations to the Agora team. Congratulations to your teacher, Eva, and to your principal, Rafael Arias, I think is there.
I'm afraid he's not. I'm sorry, he couldn't come.
And condolences to Belver and to the Belver team, to Marlon, there, which was a brilliant debate.
Well done, Misfit. Yeah.
For Agora.
We would like to thank you for such a great debate. It's been great to debate 2 times with you in this competition, and we look forward to debating again next year. So thank you.
Well said.
I would like to thank
Belver, fantastic.
We would like to thank Belver as well for giving us such a hard time, because of course this debate wouldn't have been as difficult as it has been without them. They've done a clearly good job, and we really believed that if we lost this time, we would lose to a brilliant team who would have deserved to.
Yeah.
Well said.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we have learned a lot from you from the first debate, I think it was. We were beaten by you, and we couldn't. I mean, you were just amazing, and we learned a lot from you. And I think that's a very important lesson that we learned from you. And I also hope that the Belver team also learned from Agora, and we have this mutual learning that is always good to have.
Brilliant.
Well said. Thank you very much, guys, and thanks to the judges. Thanks, Kate. Fantastic debate. Really.
Thanks to you, Marlon, to the principal, and to Belver for all your participation throughout this this competition. And again, huge congratulations to Agora. Rotarian John is there, and your teacher. Could we maybe have the presentation of the certificate if it's ready? Thank you very much. Thank you. And is the teacher Eva there? Could we have a photograph of Eva there, please? Where's Eva? Don't be shy. There you are. Yes, thank you. Congratulations to the team. Well done. We'll be sending your picture to America, because we're doing a video about this and an article for the Rotary in America, worldwide. So we'll be getting your photograph there. So John, you can maybe make sure that we've got a really good photograph of the Belver team. I'm sorry, of the Agora team, and I need one of the Belver team as well, please. Thank you. Congratulations to everybody. Thank you, Paul, Alison, and Graham, for being the judges on such a difficult occasion. And to Julie, of course, as always, for timekeeping and control. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Well done, everyone.
Well done. Well done, both teams. Brilliant job.
Yes.